the number that I was talking about, the number that you can feel incredibly good about heading into the Super Bowl if, in fact, it's on the Rams side. This is something that's an NFL record. This is not just, hey, the Rams are pretty good at this. They're a little bit better than your average team. This is somebody that's better at this than anyone ever. This is somebody that beat Bill Belichick's record. Here's a really good rule of thumb. If you are better at something than Bill Belichick is when it comes to football, you're on the right track. And Sean McVay has. Sean McVay is 47-1 when leading at the half. 47-1. Do you know what the one is? The one was the game week 18 this season against the San Francisco 49ers, which took the following chain of events for the one to come in. You needed Jimmy Garoppolo to drive about 85 yards in about 85 seconds with no touchdown, or excuse me, with no timeouts and to score a touchdown. That's the one, and that hit. I like my chances of that not happening again. I like the chances of the Rams having a lead at the half and finding a way to get that thing to the finish line. 47-1. That's not, hey, he had a good season. That's not, hey, he had a good couple of seasons. This is, if I have the lead at the half, I don't give it back. And yeah, some of these have been comfortable leads. Some of these have been double-digit leads. Some of these have been multiple touchdown leads. A lot of them have not. A lot of them have been games where maybe you're up 3, maybe you're up 4, maybe you've got a 1 touchdown lead, and they find a way. I don't even want to say that they find a way to hold on to it because that's a little bit misleading. I don't think it's a matter of they grip it really tight and they're able to finish it and just barely hang on. What the Rams are really good at doing with a lead. I think Sean McVay is as good at this as anybody, and the numbers bear it out. Let me say it again. 47-1 when they have a lead at the half. He had 45 in a row. That beat Bill Belichick's record, most halftime leads in a row without blowing it. 45, Bill Belichick. Okay, so what it means is they continue to score. They don't sit on the lead. They continue to be aggressive, but the right amount aggressive, the smart amount of aggressive, which is let's continue to push. Let's continue to try to put points on the board, but let's not do anything crazy. Maybe you're taking a few fewer home run shots. Maybe you're offering an opportunity to your running backs to really take control of the game. And this, again, comes back to something that the Rams have gotten very, very good at in the second part of this season and through most of the playoffs, which is you've got Sony Michel, you've got Cam Akers. Pound those guys. Cam Akers is a tough, hard-nosed, physical running back. We saw in back-to-back playoff games, one against the Cardinals, one against Tampa, where he's knocking out defensive backs, right? It's usually supposed to go the other way, where the defensive players load up and hit an offensive player. Maybe he's, misses a play or two, or maybe he's not able to come back quite as quickly as you might expect. It's going the other way. He's taking guys out. Sony Michel has been wildly valuable for him. Put that together with the offense and the physical play of Cam Akers, and we're still waiting to see about Darrell Henderson, right? Maybe he's available, maybe he's not, maybe he's activated, maybe he's not, but he's a weapon in the passing game. All three of these guys have been pretty good in the pass blocking game, giving him an opportunity. And with the Tyler Higbee injury, and again, we're still waiting to find out an official designation about whether or not he's ready to go. Maybe all of a sudden somebody catching the ball out of the backfield is a little more likely. Maybe we'll see a little more activity there. Maybe we'll just see more running plays. I mean, look, Cooper Kupp's going to get the ball. Odell Beckham's going to get the ball. You can almost check the box on this before the game even starts. Van Jefferson will catch a pass in the first quarter that's for a first down. It's put it down in ink on your pad. This is something that happens in virtually every single game. Van Jefferson with a big catch early in the game that keeps it going. There's so much attention paid to Odell Beckham. There's so much attention paid to Cooper Kupp that Van Jefferson's kind of the forgotten guy. And all of a sudden, he gets singled up. He runs a route. He's open. Boom. Matthew Stafford puts it on him. First down. And now you got to pay a little bit more attention to him. It opens it up for everybody else. But all of these things are things that the Rams continue to do in the second half. Sean McVay, to his detriment, I shouldn't say to his detriment, to his credit, doesn't get conservative. He doesn't do that thing, okay, we've got a 10-point lead. Let's just try to spin clock. What he's trying to do is let's try to maybe spin a little bit of clock, but let's also make sure that 10-point lead is a 13-point lead, is a 17-point lead. They continue to push. And the biggest part of all of this is that when the Rams are ahead, what does that mean? Ready for some really brilliant insight here? It means the other guy's behind. What has to happen when the other guy's behind? They got to throw the ball more often than they might like to. Again, this goes back to what we were talking about with San Francisco a little bit. San Francisco did the thing the one time, the 47-1, the one when San Francisco came back and did it, they did it very unorthodox. They did it by running the ball a lot. They didn't make Jimmy G throw a million passes in that second half to try to get back in the game. They just kept giving it to Debo over and over and over again, and he was the guy that tore the Rams up. He threw a touchdown pass in that game to put them right back in it. Most teams are not going to, even the Bengals, who have a very effective running game with Joe Mixon, if they're behind, they're going to have to throw the ball. And what happens when the team that's chasing has to throw the ball? Aaron Donald doesn't have to play two ways. Aaron Donald doesn't have to find a way to make sure that he plays the run first and then go get the ball. He can just go. He can just go. Leonard Floyd can just go. Von Miller can just go. If these guys are in a one-way go, good luck. We've talked about this a lot. I am a huge fan of Joe Burrow. I think he's a very, very good player. He reminds me a lot of Joe Montana when he first got into the league. I think that Jamar Chase is a very dangerous guy. But if that's the thing that the Rams know they have to do, and I know that the Bengals were 21-3 behind in Kansas City in the AFC Championship game and came back to win the game. I understand that they're capable. But if you're telling me draw up a scenario, give the Rams the lead, make it so Cincinnati has to come from behind throwing the ball, and I've got that defensive front, give it to me. Give it to me. I'll take it right now. Even if it's a relatively narrow lead, say it's 17-14 at the half or 10-7 or whatever it might be, give it to me. The Rams have found a way to get the hay in the barn in this thing every single time they've had an opportunity to do it. They've cashed it in. I think they'll do it again in the Super Bowl if, in fact, they can put themselves in there. And the good news is, and I know we talked about this last week, that the Rams behind at the half or in the second half behind by 10 or more points. They've only won 2 games, both of them in the NFC Championship as luck would have it. This is different. Those numbers are a little bit misleading because a lot of those behind by 10 or more in the second half were Jared Goff games. Very few of these have been Matthew Stafford games. And when we did have one, he was able to do it against San Francisco in the NFC Championship game. I like their chances to come from behind too. Give me the other one for sure, but that is a very, very good spot for them. Okay. Can one win change in players' entire legacy? Talking about Matthew Stafford, and that's coming up next.